So Dan, I hear that you are a Marxist revolutionary Canadian.
Yes.
Tell me a bit about what that means.
Well, I believe in socialism,
Yeah.
and I believe the only way to achieve socialism is through revolution.
Wow. So when you say socialism, do you mean like just a more socialistic government like they have in, say, some of the Scandinavian countries, or do you mean like
In the very least, that means that. At the most, it would be a socialist country, like Karl Marx.
Wow. Okay. So in an ideal country, what does that look like? What does the government do? What do the people do?
The people work for their own benefit.
So like capitalism that way.
Well, in capitalism, they work for the bosses, and the rich get the profits.
So in socialism, theoretically, in this Marxist socialist society, people would be working for themselves.
Yes.
Okay, interesting. And what would the role of the government be in this system?
To guide the people.
To guide the people. Okay. Honestly, it sounds like a light governmental hand.
Yes.
Would there be a lot of taxation? Because that's what I associate with the word socialism.
Well, they could tax the rich.
Okay, interesting. So what this socialist system, what would be its goal, sort of, you know? Like, is the goal to have everybody sort of equal? Is the goal to have everybody living their best life? What's the goal?
Human equality would be one of the goals.
Yeah, okay. Interesting. And why is it that this is what speaks to you so much?
Well, during the course of my life, the last few decades, I've become progressively more leftist because I've become more alienated against the capitalist system.
Interesting. What has the capitalist system done to alienate you so much?
Well, more and more profits go into the pockets of the rich, and the state of the workers is getting worse all the time.
Wow. I mean, I've heard that echoed on the right and left, that, you know, too much money is going in the pockets of the rich.
Well, the right don't know anything about it. They want to put more money in the pockets of the rich.
Interesting. And how so? Tell me more about this.
Well, you know, the corporate tax in Ontario is the lowest it is in the country.
Okay, yeah?
So the corporations in Ontario are making too much profit.
That's fair, yeah. And was it our provincial government that set them so low?
Yes.
Okay. Was it which one?
Well, the Liberals started it and the Tories continued it.
Okay, gotcha. So you think we need a revolution?
Well, if the workers are provoked that enough, yes.
Okay, interesting. I mean, revolutions are pretty intense.
Well, it would start with a general strike.
Okay. The strike would become the revolution.
Yes.
Wow. That's kind of scary. I remember the Romanian Revolution. I wasn't there personally, but like things got pretty intense.
Yeah.
So do you feel like the revolution is something that we're just moving towards as the state of the workers gets worse and worse?
Yes.
Or are people just going to get numb? Like, what's going to happen?
Well, there'll be a crisis.
Okay. So what would Ontario, for example, have to do to avoid this crisis and get to a better, at least a reasonable place without an actual bloody revolution?
They have to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour.
Okay.
More firms have to pay a living wage.
Okay, more firms pay a living wage, raise the minimum wage. And this money would come from profits?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, that's fair. Interesting. And I guess, you know, when I hear that, my capitalist side sort of goes, oh no, what if all the businesses leave? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, if they leave, they should be nationalized. Their home offices are in Ontario.
Okay, fair enough. So they won't leave is what you're saying. We don't have to worry about that. Maybe that's a scare tactic from them to keep us in check or something?
The big multinationals are the ones who shift around their their factories.
But if they leave, then we have local factories pop up, maybe?
Yes.
Doesn't sound so bad. All right, sir. Well, thank you very much. That's very insightful. So,
Well, also, they should not allow Mexican-made GM cars into Canada because
okay.
they shifted the production from Oshawa to Mexico. So in order to get back at GM cars made in Mexico should not be allowed into Canada because we shouldn't be rewarding the Mexican workers for making $3 an hour.
Interesting. So you're against Mexican GM cars, not because they're not Canadian, but because
they are Canadian.
They're taking
not
advantage
Canadian.
of Mexican workers as well.
Well, their living standards are a lot lower down there. Their living costs are lower.
Yeah.
But it's just that they took those jobs away from Canadians and shifted them to Mexico.
Because it was cheaper?
Yes.
Huh.
Mexicans only make $3 an hour.
Yeah, that would make things a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And you know payday loan companies?
Payday loan companies, yeah.
Yeah, they are owned by the big banks.
Right. So when you're getting an advance on your pay, you're still paying money to your bank. Oh, that's a terrifying thought. Okay. Wow. All right. Well, guys, thank you very much for sharing your views with us.
Okay.
Anything else you want to add? Anything else you want to say?
No.
If you had one thing to say to my generation or people younger than me or millennials about how to not get duped by large corporations and how to, like, what would be more politically aware, be more involved, what would your message be for the youth?
I tell them to watch their asses because nobody will watch it for them.
Okay, that's amazing. Can you clarify that?
No.
Okay. Just watch your asses.
Yeah.
Well, you heard it here, folks. Watch your asses.
To organize because they're only young ones.
Organize while you're young. Okay, I like that one. Yeah, organize while you're young. Is it harder to organize when you're past a certain age?
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. Takes a lot of energy to organize. All right, well, guys, listen, you've been great. Thank you so much for being on Canadian Love. We really appreciate hearing your insights and hearing where your views come from. Thank you.